We all have these maybe comfortable ideas about childhood, don't we? Like this belief that young kids are pretty resilient, that, they can grow up with shouting, maybe some intense anger around, and somehow they just brush it off. It'd be nice to think they just keep this perfect sort of unblemished faith in things, right?
Yeah, it would be comfortable, but, well, it's not really how it works. Psychologists have found something quite different. The truth is, we're actually hugely susceptible, really sensitive to the moods, the whole emotional vibe of the people around us, especially when we're very young.
Mm.
Being around that kind of rage early on, it doesn't just pass. It changes things structurally, not like a physical scar, but more like the blueprint of our emotional selves.
Right, the invisible architecture.
Yeah.
And that's what we're diving into today. We're exploring how that early emotional tone, the feeling of our first environment, really shapes our adult curiosity, how much we explore, even our courage. We want to trace that line from, say, a raised voice back then to maybe feeling stuck or hesitant now. Okay, let's unpack this.
To really get a handle on how vulnerable we are, you have to look at the research. There's this fascinating work by Professor Betty Repiccioli and her team at the University of Washington's Institute for Learning and Brain Sciences, ILEBIA-PALE. They set up this experiment, basically, to watch emotional, let's call it contamination, happen in real time.
Okay, and they used what the source calls a sensitive child. Though I guess the point is every child is sensitive in this way. This specific study focused on a 15-month-old boy. Why that age? Is there something about 15 months?
Oh, yeah. It's right around when social referencing really kicks in hard.
Hmm.
Kids that age are constantly looking around, especially at their caregivers, trying to figure out, is this safe? What should I do?
Right.
If the vibe is safe, explore, they go for it. If it's danger, freeze.
Yeah,
Yep,
they
sure.
freeze. They're kind of outsourcing their safety assessment.
Exactly. So in the lab, when everything's calm and quiet, the baseline, the little boy is just exploring, playing joyfully, totally natural. He's all curiosity. But then they introduce the variable. Someone they call an emoter comes in, and suddenly there's this signal of danger, a raised voice, angry, sharp. The whole feel of the room just flips instantly.
And the change in the child. You see it right away. That joyful curiosity just evaporates. It quickly gives way to fear. It's like the basic drive to learn gets shut down by the need to survive. It really shows how outside anger can just hijack what's going on inside.
Yeah, and here's a really telling detail where the science gets specific. The fear isn't just general. It latches on to completely neutral things. In this study, it was a pink set of beads, just a toy, totally harmless. But because the environment suddenly feels dangerous due to that angry voice, the beads become scary too. The child pulls back, won't touch them.
That detail is so important, isn't it? Because it's not just fear of the person yelling. It becomes fear of the environment and everything in it. It's like emotional generalization. The voice poisons neutral things like the beads. It teaches the child, hey, new stuff might be risky.
That's the core of it. Exploration itself starts to feel dangerous. Now, it's important to remember, the little boy in the experiment, he was lucky, relatively speaking. He was right there on his mother's lap. And crucially, he was quickly comforted. He had that immediate safety net to help him regulate again.
Okay, so that's the lab setting. Momentary danger, immediate comfort. But what happens when that anger, that raised voice, isn't just a one-off incident? What if it's the background noise of childhood?
That's the critical question, isn't it? Because most kids growing up in those kinds of environments, well, they aren't as fortunate as the child in the study. There isn't always that quick comfort, that safe harbor. So the fear doesn't just dissipate. It lingers. It grows. And suddenly it's not about being scared of pink beads anymore. It becomes this deeper, almost systemic fear of exploration itself.
So connecting that to us as adults, if you grew up with that sustained early exposure to rage, the result is you might become, as the source says, too frightened to explore life. Not just big things, right? It can be subtle.
Oh, absolutely. Very subtle. It could show up as maybe feeling you can't really speak your mind in a meeting because speaking up means attention, and attention once meant anger. Or it might be that harsh inner critic that shuts down a creative spark before you even give it a chance. Or maybe just this profound hesitation about trying a new career path or moving somewhere new. You face an opportunity and there's this immediate gut level no. That might not just be caution, it could be that old echo.
It's like imagining your mind as a library. A calm environment lets you wander, browse different sections, open new books. But constant rage is like a low-grade fire alarm always going off. You stop browsing, you just want to find the exit and stay near it. Curiosity gets traded for just feeling safe.
Which brings up a really tricky point. How do you tell the difference between genuine healthy caution, rational risk assessment, and this, this conditioned fear response. They can feel so similar in the moment.
Yeah, it's complex, but one clue might be in the response itself. Rational assessment usually involves some thinking, some weighing of pros and cons. But that trauma-based recoil, the echo of the raised voice, it's often immediate, visceral, a sudden shutdown that kind of bypasses thinking. It's like the 15-month-old flinching away from the beads.
Exactly. And the cost of that early rage isn't just paid in fear, it's paid in all the curiosity that got stifled, all the opportunities missed over a whole lifetime. It's like living life with the thermostat turned way down, always trying to avoid triggering that old heat.
So, if we bring this all together, the message here seems to be about self-compassion, really.
Uh-huh.
But when you find yourself holding back, being overly self-critical, shying away from things that seem okay on the surface, maybe show yourself some immense compassion.
Hmm.
Because those feelings might be real scars from something you couldn't control way back when.
Yes. And that naturally leads to this bigger idea, this sort of philosophical goal. It's not only about healing ourselves, it's also about trying, with all our intelligence, as the source puts it, to build a world with less rage, a quieter, safer world for the next generation. We kind of have a responsibility to try and reduce the number of environments that end up creating these cowed, traumatized children.
Because the ultimate cost of rage, it seems, isn't just the immediate fight or the broken vase. It's the adult who's left too afraid to really live fully, to explore their own life. So what does this all mean for you, listening right now? Maybe the challenge is to ask yourself today, think about that project or that relationship or that risk you keep putting off. Is that hesitation truly caution? Or could it be the 15-month-old inside you, still flinching from the echo of a raised voice? Something to think about.